We have multiple Game of the Year candidates in today's MLB recap. 12 different teams scored 10 plus runs in yesterday's contest. That has not happened since the 1800s. Juan Soto, he could be on the move over the next few days or weeks according to a few trade rumors and recent trade reports. And I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, this is probably going to be the biggest recap in the history of the channel. And of course, it happens when my editor is out of town and it's my birthday. It's my Mike Trout year. I'm officially 27 years old, which is crazy because I started YouTube at 20. If you guys feel old, same, because that's crazy to say out loud. I've been doing this for 7 years. We're not going to waste any time. Let's talk about the first game from yesterday, the Marlins and the Cardinals. Edward Cabrera and Jordan Montgomery, they only allowed 1 run each. The one off of Edward came from the bat of Brendan Donovan. He has 11 home runs on the year. Miami, they took the lead momentarily on a Jorge Soler single, but St. Louis, they tied it right back up. Nolan Gorman, he split the gap for a huge RBI double to score Dylan Carlson. Now this game, it's going to need extras because Jordan Hicks, he did not implode. He clutched up and he sent it to the 10th inning where Arenado, he turns on a pitch for an electric 3-run walk-off missile. Nolan Arenado is hitting .345 with 14 extra base hits and 21 RBIs over his last 20 games. St. Louis, they've won 4 in a row, and I don't know if it's possible, but maybe, just maybe, if baseball keeps on baseballing, the Cardinals, they'll get back into the playoff race because that's what baseball always does. It's baseball. It almost never makes sense. Here we go. We technically have a doubleheader, even though game number 1 started in the 5th or the 6th inning. So just to recap, Matt McClain and Austin Slater, they traded some home runs in the first game right before a rain delay, but we'll get to that in a second because it could have been more. Just Ellie De La Cruz, he made a sick play at the hot corner. He robs Austin Slater of another extra base hit. Now, if Ellie learns how to hit lefties, he's not going to have any flaws as a baseball player. Wilmer Flores and Jonathan India, they found some barrels. It's 2-2. Then the rain delay hit, so we're going to pick up the next day. After it picked up, Jock Peterson ripped a 2-run double in the 10th inning, and Camilo Duvall, he now has 29 saves on the year as the Giants win game number 1 technically 4-2. Here we go, one of the games of the year, if not the game of the year, the Giants and the Reds, their second of the day. Now, this one started off with 4 home runs. It was Wilmer Flores, then Rake Fraley. We call him Rake, but his name is Jake Fraley. Will Benson, who's having a breakout rookie season, and Wilmer Flores did it again. Wilmer now has 11 home runs and a very impressive 135 OPS plus. Now, the Giants, they storm back to reclaim the lead, and rookie Christian Encarnacion Strand, officially the longest name in baseball history, he enters the history books. His first hit is a go-ahead second decker. That 3-run moonshot put the Reds up by 1, and then San Francisco immediately stole the lead back. It's 11-8 after Luis Matos, or Matos, I can't remember how to say his last name. He had a 2-run single. Joey Votto, he then grabbed both of those runs back on one single swing. That's home run number 350. He is the 16th player in baseball history with 350 home runs, 2,000 base hits, and an on-base percentage over 400. He's an easy Hall of Fame choice if you ask me. TJ Friedl, he then made an insane grab to keep it at 11-11, but the Giants, they also kept it at 11-11. There's a double play to end it as Camilo Duvall is the first relief pitcher in baseball to 30 wins. Hey guys, it's editor Fuzzy. I definitely meant to say 30 saves, but it's my birthday. You cannot be mean to me, okay? The Giants, they've won 7 in a row. On the flip side, the Reds have now lost 6 games in a row, so let's see if their division rival, the Brewers, can keep on stacking wins and capitalize on their NL Central lead. Schwarber, he's having himself an insane start to the second half. That's a home run in 4 consecutive games. Nick Castellanos, he made it 3-0, and look at Kyle Schwarber showing off the hops. Not really. He maybe got 1.7 inches off the ground, but he made the grab nonetheless. Bryson Stott, he singled in a huge run after Milwaukee rallied a little bit, and that 4th run was huge because Milwaukee, they did end up scoring a 3rd run, but Philly, they locked it up on Craig Kimbrell's 16th save of the year. The Phillies have won 4 games in a row, so because the Marlins got walked off and the Phillies won, the Phillies are officially back in the playoffs with a wild card spot. Real quick before we move on, I just want to say if you enjoy these recaps, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, and it's my birthday, so there you go, subscribe. Okay, back to the recap. Here we go, the Orioles and the Dodgers. LA, they already beat Baltimore once, so they're going for 2 wins in a row, and it's looking pretty good already. Jason Hayward, he's got 9 home runs on the year. He is enjoying a renaissance season. Freddie Freeman and Will Smith, they made it 5-0. The game was pretty much a wrap at that point. Michael Grove, he held the Baltimore Orioles to just 1 run over 5. He struck out 4 along the way. JD Martinez, he had an RBI in the 7th, and after Gunnar Henderson tried to make an insane play, but the throw got away, LA, they got into the 10-run club. They went easy 10-3, a super easy game to recap. On the contrary, for this next game, the Diamondbacks and the Braves scored a total of 29 runs in this one, so let's go ahead and get into it. 12 runs were scored combined in the first 2 innings, so please bear with me. I can't show everything, but I'm going to try my best. Corbin, he started off with an RBI triple, but Atlanta, they actually stole the lead on doubles from Austin Riley and Sean Murphy. Austin Riley, he had himself a monster day. Those 2 baggers made it 4-2, and Michael Harris made it a 5-run day, and in the blink of an eye, it's now 5-5. Emmanuel Rivera, he hit a home run, and then Ketel Marte, he matched Austin Riley and Sean Murphy with a 2-run double of his own, and you'll never guess how Arizona took the lead. Corbin Carroll, he struck out, but he got to third after a throwing error, and because he's so quick, he just motored around a run scored in the process. Christian Walker and Austin Riley, they both traded home runs, with Riley's being a go-ahead 3-run shot. That was his first of the day. We'll talk about his second in a second. Another home run, Orlando Arcia went 420 feet for a 2-run home run, only to have Christian Walker homer again. Arizona, they're now up 12-1. Christian Walker is one of 7 players in baseball now with 20 doubles and 20 home runs, but look at Austin Riley. Have yourself a day. That's a 7 RBI day. Now we're going to go ahead and just move on to rookie Dominic Canzone with his first career base hit, tying it at 13-13, and then all-star Geraldo Perdomo, he doubled in the go-ahead runs, so this game was all over the place. Ketel Marte, he put the cherry on top to make it 16-13, and Kevin Jankel, I think that's how you say his last name, he struck out the side, his first save of 2023. That's the first time in the Arizona Diamondbacks franchise history where they won a game in which they allowed 13 runs. That was also a game of the year candidate. That was wild. So before the Guardians took on the Pirates, the #1 overall pick, Paul Skeens, signed for a record signing bonus of $9.2 million. That passes Steven Strasburg for the richest signing bonus in the history of baseball. So at least that happened, because wow, the game kind of sucked for Pittsburgh fans. Josh Naylor, he won't stop raking. He's leading baseball in batting average since May 31st, and that's a huge 3-run tater. Josh Bell, he was back in his old stomping grounds. He came up with the Pirates, I believe. He punished a 2-run home run, and that was all for Logan Allen, who allowed just 1 hit over 5 shutout. He struck out 8 Pirates, 5 shutout, 1 hit. That was impressive. We skipped to the 9th, and Josh Naylor, he did it again. Naylor is hitting .311 with 15 home runs, 75 RBIs, and over the last 10 weeks, he's second in OPS, just behind Shohei Ohtani. Here we go, the Mariners and the Twins. After Seattle stole the lead and went up 3-2, Alex Kirilloff of the Twins, he lifted off for a go-ahead 2-run home run. World Baseball Classic star for Team Canada and rookie Edward Julian, he ripped a solo home run. This kid is hitting .310 with 8 home runs and a 153 OPS plus. He is really, really, really good. Max Kepler, he doubled in Kirilloff in Minnesota. They're going to win it easy 10-3 after they got even more home runs. Kyle Farmer hit 1, and look at Carlos Correa. He's trying to stay after it and keep on grinding. He's only hitting .234, but he's trying his best to heat up and actually earn that contract, because thus far, it's been a stinker. So we talked about rookie Edward Julian being insane. Another rookie, Francisco Alvarez, he's still just 21 years old. He already has the Mets rookie catching record with 17. Well, there's his 18th home run right there. Brett Beatty, he then made it back-to-back home runs, and the Mets, they kept pouring it on. DJ Stewart, I forgot that he was on the Mets. He bashed one out, and after the Mets got up to a 9 spot, Francisco Alvarez did it again. He had 2 2-run home runs. He's got 19 home runs and like 219 at-bats, which is just crazy for a 21-year-old catcher. Chicago, they then played the Uno reverse card. Look at this. Base hit after base hit, run after run. It is now a 1-run ball game. Luckily, the Mets got to face Tim Anderson, probably the worst player in baseball this year, and of course he ended it. What an ending though. The Mets, they just barely beat the White Sox 11-10. We have another close game where the box score was 11-10. Spencer Torkelson, he drew the first blood with a long 430-foot tater, but then Kansas City, they immediately started clawing back into the game. An awful read from left fielder Eric Haas allowed an RBI triple to Darian Blanco, and then there's a 2-run double from Freddie Fermin. Kansas City, they were leading 7-2 after the 4th, but Torkelson, he got the Tigers right back into it. 2 home runs and 5 RBIs on the day. He has 17 RBIs and a near 130 OPS plus over his last 21 games. Shout out to him. Michael Garcia, he played it 2 on a huge double in the 6th inning. Michael Garcia, he's on the Royals, by the way, if you're not looking at the screen. Darren Blanco, he missed the cycle by just a few feet. He had a single, a triple, and 2 doubles, so a monster day for him. The Tigers, they scored 4 in the 9th. They got within 1, but they ran out of gas, and the Royals, they narrowly squeaked past the Tigers 11-10. If you thought that was a lot of runs, the Cubs put up up 17 runs against the Nationals. Now, Lane Thomas, he teed off for the 15th time. We all love Lane Thomas. But that was pretty much all the fun moments for Washington fans because Seiya Suzuki, he went yard, and then so did Patrick Wisdom. And you know what's crazy about the Cubs putting up 17 runs? That home run from Patrick Wisdom was the final home run for either team. Chicago, they kept on scoring and scoring and scoring. 8 Cubs hitters left with an RBI, and 5 hitters had multi-RBI games. They scored 17 runs on 20 base hits. They're the only team in the NL Central with a positive run differential. They have a plus 34 run differential, even though they're 6 games under 500. And I think that they're in 3rd or 4th place. That's what I was saying in the intro. Baseball, it doesn't make sense. It's just going to keep on baseballing. Here we go. The Padres were taking on Alek Manoah and the Blue Jays in Toronto. Juan Soto, in my opinion, he's already entering the history books for some of the easiest opposite field power I've ever seen. He's up to 17 home runs and only a 417 on base percentage. I say only because he had a 424 on base percentage in his first 5 full seasons. Crazy. He doubled in another in the 3rd inning, and San Diego, they're going to win this one fairly easy. Manny Machado, he's been a monster in July. That's his 9th home run of July, and Gary Sanchez, he belted one out as well. Joe Musgrove, he struck out 7 over 6. He has a 1.7 ERA over his last 10 games, but today's video, it's going to be all offense, unfortunately. Grisham, he grabbed his 10th home run, and San Diego, they barely miss out on double-digit runs. They beat the Blue Jays 9-1. Now, San Diego, they improved to 45-50. Talks are swirling about them trading Juan Soto or Blake Snell because they've been performing out of their minds lately. The Padres are 7.5 games back in the wild card and 10.5 games back of the NL West, so a long way out. Are they going to be sellers? Are they going to be buyers? The Phillies and the Yankees are said to be in play right now for both Juan Soto and Blake Snell. Is that going to happen? Let me know in the comments what you think of that. Thank you guys for bearing with me. This is a long recap, but we're going to keep on chugging along. Marcus Semien, he jolted a ball for his 13th home run. This came against the Rays. And Nathan Eovaldi, he was insane against the Rays in this one. He lowers his ERA to 2.69 after 6 shutout innings. He only struck out 2, but like we've mentioned a few times over the last few weeks, yeah, you can be nasty and strike out 10, but maybe you give up 4 in the process. If you can locate, it's almost as good as throwing 102. By the way, Nathan Eovaldi, his 2.69 ERA is not only very nice, but it's the 3rd best in all of Major League Baseball. Travis Gronkowski and Corey Seager, they added to the lead, with Corey bashing a monster 425-foot 3-run nuke. Seager is hitting 350 with 42 extra base hits and 57 RBIs in just 64 games. Randy and Brandon Lau, they made it interesting, but Texas, they're able to take the first 2 versus the Rays. They've won all 5 games in the second half, talking about the Texas Rangers. This was an interesting and weird game because Houston, they went up 3 in the first inning, so you're thinking the Astros, they're going to run away with this one, but KB, again, this is not kissing Kate Barlow from holes. Chris Bryant of the Rockies, he left the yard, he made it a 1-run game, and now it's tied. Ryan McMahon, he made it back-to-back home runs. He has 15 home runs on the season. Ezekiel Tovar, the rookie, he stayed hot with the triple to bring home CJ Cron. That actually was the game-winning run for the Rockies because Justin Lawrence, he has a 2.57 ERA on the season. He now has 6 saves after that one. I wonder if Justin Lawrence or Daniel Bard are going to be on the trading block going into the trade deadline. So yeah, keep a lookout for that as the Rockies, they beat the Astros in comeback fashion 4-3. We have a super quick game I need to recap before the Yankee game because Boston, they're now in sole possession of 4th place, which means that the Yankees, they are in last place. They have not been in last place this deep into the season since 1990. Ryan Noda, he belted one long and far. He has 11 home runs. He's actually really underrated. JJ Bleday, he's trying to prove why he was once a highly coveted prospect. He has 6 home runs and almost 330 on base percentage. Luis Medina of the A's tossed a near 6-inning gem. He held Boston scoreless. He struck out 6 along the way. Trevor May, he closed it out for a 7th save. So the Yankees, they are the final AL East team left to play, and every other AL East team has lost in today's recap. So let's see if the Yankees can reverse that curse. Again, New York has not been in last place this late into the season since 1990. Let's see if they can capitalize on a Boston loss. Maybe Aaron Boone was onto something when he didn't walk Shohei Ohtani to get to Moniak because Mickey Moniak flat out rakes. Speaking of Ohtani and Moniak, they teamed up in the 5th inning. Shohei, he ripped a 110-mile-an-hour triple down the right field line for his MLB best 7th triple of the season. Moniak, he knocked in Ohtani. He's hitting 336 with 11 home runs and a 170 OPS plus. Patrick Sandoval, he's been better as of late. He's coming off a gem versus the Padres. He tossed another one, 7 strikeouts over 7 1/3. The Halos, they've won 2 in a row, and look at them. They're 4.5 games back of the AL wildcard spot. To end today's recap, I want to go ahead and do today's immaculate grid. So who played for the Blue Jays and the Rays? Didn't Kevin Kiermaier is currently doing that right now, I think. So hopefully that's a low one. 43%. That is not going to help my rarity score. All-star for the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm going to try and think of an obscure All-Star. I could go with Carl Crawford. I'm going to go with Carl Crawford because I feel like a lot of people have forgot about him. So let's see. 8%. Okay, that was a good one. All-Star for the Twins. Let's see if I can go back and think about a random All-Star from back in my youth. Byron Buxton is an easy one. One from my youth. Maybe Jim Thome. Did he make an All-Star team as a Twin? I'll come back to that one because I want to get a low rarity score. 100 RBI season for the Blue Jays. We have Edwin Encarnacion. 8%. Okay, that was good. 100 RBI season for the A's. I mean, did Donaldson ever have one? No. Maybe Eric Chavez. Miguel Tejada. I'm going to go with Miguel Tejada because I know he won an MVP. Did he get it? Yeah, okay, 8%. That was a big one. And then an all-star with 100 RBIs, Hamilton. I'm going to go with Josh Hamilton and just hopefully a lot of people have not picked Josh Hamilton for 100 RBIs and wait, whoa, there we go. Okay. Ooh, that's a good one. 0.8%. That's huge. All right, who has played for the Twins and the Blue Jays? Twins and the Blue Jays. Jose Barrios. Again, I'm just kind of picking the first players. 29%. That's not the best. We have the Twins and the A's. I'm going to go Trevor May. This should help out. Let me go Trevor first because I like going with the last name first to see if it autofills. Trevor May was definitely on the Twins and now he's on the A's. That's 7%. So we have an all-star from the Twins. Do I go with someone random? Like, who was their closer from back in the day? Who was that guy? No, not Greg Holland. What was that lefty? He was from Minnesota as well. I'm going to come back to that one because I'm trying to think of his name. I know there's an all-star closer for the Twins, and his name starts with a G, and he's from Minnesota or something like that. The A's and the Rays. Who's played for the A's and the Rays? Charlie Morton. Has he ever played for... Charlie Morton's played for everyone, so he could be on this. The A's and the Rays. Hold on. I'm almost positive that Fernando Rodney, please. Yes. Okay, I just need one more player. This has to be... Who's the G? Greg Hampson. No. Who is that guy? Literally, I see his face. He's a white dude with kind of a weird beard. It's like Glenn. It's Glenn something. I think. There it is. Glenn Perkins, I think. Is that a name? Glenn Perkins, please be on the list. Yes! A rarity score of 107. We got everything right. That's my best performance ever. Guys, thank you all so much for watching today's recap. It was a monster one. It's my 27th birthday. I just want to say, if you've been there from the start or if you've been here recently, thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully it's not as big, but maybe you guys like the big boy recaps. I don't know. Catch you there.